Angela. This is Christine. That's Ivan, and this is Hazel. And this is our project on segregation and racism in New York City. Okay, the problem that we wanted to focus on was that we wanted to focus on racism and segregation in New York and how it affects like everyone in New York, especially young students in high school. And so, despite the ethnicity or age one may be, racism and segregation is experienced by all, but not everyone agreed. So, show the slide.
Alright, so this is a picture that D'Angela took, and during our field trip in Williamsburg, the Jewish community and the black community, or the black and Hispanic communities, don't interact at all. We think this is a problem because they end up hating each other. And like me personally, since I lived there, I experienced like forms of racism all the time. Like if I walk through the Jewish community, then they give me a whole bunch of dirty looks. Like when we went out on our field trip, this one lady was just staring at me for like 5 minutes for no reason whatsoever. And then another time that I went over there, some lady spit at my feet. And I don't even know why. Like I don't know the lady or nothing, but I guess she spit at me because like I wasn't her kind. And also, when the Jewish people come through to my community, kids in my community have a tendency to like start problems with them. So like most of them just like, it sounds funny, but they just run. Like they literally just run right down the block, get out the community and stuff. So yeah, next slide.
And this is the amount of people we surveyed. We surveyed 13 from Brooklyn, 11 from the Bronx, and 7 from Manhattan. And this is about feeling strange in another community that's not your own. And so, as you could see from the graph, I can't really see. Yeah, this graph shows the people who experience segregation and racism. You see, racism, people experienced it more other than segregation, so it seems like racism is a bigger problem than segregation, but it's still equally the same at the same time. So like the Caucasians, they have the different races who experience segregation and racism, and the graph is just there to show the comparison. Yeah.
Alright, so our findings, we found that almost everyone felt uncomfortable outside their neighborhood, at least sometimes, which is evident in that graph.
Our conclusion. Even though people did not see segregation as a problem, they did identify racism as a problem. We think that one step to reducing racism in New York City is for people of different cultures and backgrounds to interact with each other more. If people interact with each other, then they will not have stereotypical ideas about groups of people. So,
block parties?
yeah, here's our solutions. Get out of your shell, meaning like when you walk into another neighborhood, you get to know people from that neighborhood, like say hello and get to like ask them questions about their neighborhood so that you can be familiar with them and their surroundings, and you can feel comfortable yourself. Block parties. Invite everyone from the whole town or country or whatever. Blacks, Hispanics, Jewish, Indians, Muslims, thank you. Just invite them all, interact with each other, get to know each other's different cultures, ideas, maybe even interests that you may have.
And for culture days, in schools or anywhere, well, schools, like, the students could interact with each other, and they could, like, eat each other's foods and, like, play each other's games, and they could get to know one another. Or for, like, national other culture days, like, go to other culture days. So you can get to know them.
Okay.